back to my channel. I'm gonna be traveling next week, so I thought while I was packing everything and getting everything ready that I wanted to bring, it would be a good time to talk about some tips and tricks to stay healthy while traveling. There's a quote, it goes something like, fail to prepare and you prepare to fail, which sounds super cliche, but I think it is so accurate. If you don't take the time to get organized and to plan things out, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. My flight next week is only 3 hours. It actually leaves at 6 a.m. So it's gonna be a pretty early morning. I definitely won't eat anything before I get to the airport. And in the past, for flights like this that are short and really early morning, I have opted to not bring any food on the plane with the intention to just fast and wait until I get there. It sounds good in theory, and if you're able to do that, all the more power to you. For myself, what I find is I just get bored on the plane, and I just feel like I need something to snack on or something to eat. And then the flight attendants come around handing out the cookies or whatever it is, and it is just so tempting not to eat them. That is really a test of my willpower. So to solve these issues, I am going to pack some snacks for myself. My first tip is to not pack anything that will melt or go soggy. In the past, if I had an afternoon flight, I have packed a salad for myself. The problem with this is though, that if you want to put any dressing or olive oil on top, you need to do that before you go through customs. And I find that by the time I'm on the plane and I'm ready to eat the salad, it's just kind of turned into a mushy mess. It's a little bit gross and unappetizing to eat. So unless you're okay with eating it that way, I think salads are a no-go. My next tip would be to only pack as much food as you want to eat. In the past, when I haven't brought anything to the airport to eat, I have ended up buying one of those like big bags of almonds or mixed nut, which is fine. I would consider that a healthy snack. But what ends up happening is I get bored on the plane and I just continually eat. And I eat. And I eat. Until the whole bag of nuts is gone, which is about like 5 or 6 portions worth. Pack any snacks you're gonna bring in reusable containers. Don't bring the whole package that you bought them in. So for instance, next week, I might bring a container with about 2 serves of almonds. And that way I won't be tempted to just keep eating them when I get bored on the plane. My next tip would be to stick to your regular meal time. So most days, I'll make a bulletproof drink at home at about like 9 or 10 o'clock, and then I'll wait till maybe like 11, 12-ish to have my first meal for the day. Ideally, I want to stick to those times even when I'm traveling. So that means not having breakfast before my 6 a.m. flight. Because I know if I eat at like 4:30 in the morning, I'm gonna be hungry a couple hours later. And it's just gonna keep going and keep going. Know what your regular meal times are and try to stick to them no matter where you are. That way you won't be tempted like when the airplane food comes around if they have breakfast for you and you're like, oh, I already had breakfast, but this is here now. Guess I gotta eat it. No, just say no. The other thing is when you're traveling, you're not burning any calories. So if you're eating more than you normally would, but you're just sitting there for hours, you're just taking in excess calories that your body doesn't need. So listen to your body. Obviously, if you are hungry, then eat. But as much as possible, I find that trying to stick to my normal meal times, no matter where I am, really helps. My next tip would be to not pack anything that's gonna go bad. I say go bad in air quotes because I know the foods I'm gonna mention won't actually go bad in the time frame I'm talking about. But you know, when you have like cheese or eggs and you keep it out of the fridge sort of at room temperature for several hours and then you eat it and it's kind of like, yeah, just like room temperature and like a little bit gross. Just not the most pleasant to eat. I would just try to avoid foods like that altogether. There are so many other foods that will keep well at room temperature and taste better that you can go for. So what foods should you bring while traveling? Here are a couple I love. Collagen or protein powder. These are really good because you can just mix them with water on the plane and stir it up, or when they come around with the coffee, you can put a little bit of collagen powder in it. You can put a scoop of this into a little baggie or a reusable container, and it's just gonna fill you up and keep you full for a little bit longer. To go with the collagen powder, this one might be a little bit risky, and that is coconut oil. So coconut oil is solid, up until a certain temperature. What I'm gonna do is just take a scoop of this, put it into like a little plastic container, and put it in the freezer the night before, and hopefully that won't melt before I get to the airport. But if it does and doesn't make it through customs, it's not the end of the world. If I do get it through though, I'll put that in my tea or coffee that I have on the plane with the collagen powder, and then I'll have a nice bulletproof drink. Nuts. When not consumed in excess, nuts are a good source of healthy fats and protein that again will keep you satiated and just be something to snack on the plane that you won't feel guilty about if you don't overindulge like I usually do. Just make sure to portion out only as much as you want to eat. My next favorite airplane snack would be muffins. So if you watched one of my previous videos, I will link it up here. It was a recipe for my hemp seed muffins. Healthy muffins are great because they're a little bit more substantial. They feel more like you're eating an actual meal instead of just sort of snack. So a couple muffins would be great if you have an early flight like I do, just to like have sort of a small breakfast when you're on the plane. Some other things you could bring on the plane would be some almond, peanut butter, or other type of nut butter. You could cut up some celery sticks, bring those. Another option would be some apple slices to eat with the nut butter. But going back to one of my previous tips about foods not tasting as good at like room temperature after a couple of hours, sliced apple might be one of them. Now I'm gonna talk about a couple things I'm gonna bring with me in my suitcase to have while I'm away. So I'll bring some more of this collagen powder because I have this every single day. This is so good for so many reasons. I actually did an Instagram post about it a couple days ago. So if you want to know some of the benefits of collagen powder and like a little bit more about what it is, you can check that out on my Instagram. The other thing that will be coming in my suitcase is my MCT oil. Again, I have this every single day. It is a great source of energy too if you kind of feel like you're hitting a wall or just like losing your energy in the middle of the day. Just have a tablespoon of this and it will get you kick-started again. I probably won't bring any more nuts in my suitcase just because those are pretty widely available. I can get some when I get there. Those are always a good snack. I'm also gonna bring my chocolate base from Perfect Keto. This hopefully I won't have to use too much, but just in case I do have something that's like really carb heavy, I can have this afterwards or the next morning, and that will kind of help get my body back into fat burning mode a little bit quicker. And the last thing that always comes with me when I travel is my little portable blender. So this is great because it makes about 1 drink's worth. Great if you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb and you're not sure if they're gonna have a blender. You can still make your bulletproof coffee. I actually bought this blender when I was in Hong Kong, so I don't really know if you'll be able to buy it in like Australia or America or Canada or anywhere. I will link it down below though if I can find it, because it is just a great, pretty lightweight travel blender. And I'll also link everything else down below as well, so if you want to check anything out. If you end up eating out a lot on your holiday, some of the best tips I can recommend are to always try to get something that's whole foods. So anything that's really processed or deep fried, kind of stay away from that. Something that's like meat and veggies, or if it's breakfast, eggs and veggies is usually the best option. If you order a salad or anything with sauce, always get it on the side. Those can be and usually are loaded with sugar and are best avoided or used in moderation, so just pour a little bit on. And my last tip would be to just not stress. You're on a holiday, you want to enjoy yourself. I am a firm believer in preparing for your success. But that being said, even if you do all the preparation you possibly could, you still might get thrown into a situation where there just isn't a healthy option or where you just want to treat yourself. So go for it. There's a fine line between treating yourself and just throwing everything out the window and eating whatever you want. So just know where that tipping point is, do the best you can with the situation you're in, and have a good time. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.